Today, I'm standing here with my Democratic colleagues as we stand in support of our resolution that we introduced on yesterday to condemn political violence. There is no place in our state and in this country where political violence should be accepted. And so we stand united, fighting against these types of attempts to destroy our democracy. And so with that, my colleagues will begin to read the resolution.
House Resolution number 173, introduced yesterday. A resolution to condemn political violence in all forms and affirm the commitment of the Michigan House of Representatives to civility, safety, and the peaceful exercise of democracy.
Whereas, democracy is built on a vigorous debate, free speech, and the peaceful exchange of ideas, all of which are imperiled when violence is used as a political weapon. And
whereas in recent years, the United States has witnessed a disturbing escalation of politically motivated violence, intimidation, and threats directed at public officials, their families, and engaged citizens. And
whereas on July 13th, 2024, President Donald Trump survived an attempted assassination at a public rally, an incident that further inflamed tensions and underscored the real dangers faced by political figures.
And whereas on September 10th, 2025, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated while speaking at a public event in yet another attack designed to silence political expression through violence.
And whereas on June 14th, 2025, former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark Hortman were killed in a politically motivated attack, and State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were seriously injured in the same incident. And
whereas in the early morning of April 13th, 2025, an arsonist set fire to Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence and was the target of violent threats, reflecting the unacceptable risk imposed on those serving in public office.
And whereas members of Congress have likewise faced violence, including Representative Gabrielle Giffords, grievously injured in a 2011 shooting, Representative Steve Scalise, critically injured in a 2017 attack during a congressional baseball practice, and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her husband, Paul Pelosi, who was brutally attacked in their home in 2022.
And whereas Michigan has also been touched directly by these threats, including the 2020 kidnapping plot against Governor Gretchen Whitmer, which highlighted the dangers extremist violence poses not only to leaders, but to the stability of our democracy.
And whereas these incidents, though targeting individuals of differing parties and ideologies, share a common danger. They seek to erode democratic participation, silence debate, and intimidate those who step forward to serve.
And whereas experts and reports indicate that the United States is experiencing its highest level of political violence since the 1970s. And whereas, according to the University of Maryland researcher who tracks terrorism, the United States recorded roughly 150 politically motivated attacks in the first half of 2025, nearly double the number from the same period in 2024.
And whereas increased rhetoric, Americans increasingly believe that harsh political rhetoric is fueling violence, according to a September 2025 Reuters Ipsos poll.
And whereas political violence has no place in Michigan, in the United States, or in any society that values freedom, justice, and the rule of law. Now, therefore,
be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the members of this legislative body condemn political violence in all forms and affirm the commitment of the Michigan House of Representatives to civility, safety, and the peaceful exercise of democracy. And be it further resolved
that we reaffirm our commitment to the principles of civility, respect, and peaceful discourse as the only legitimate means to resolve political differences in our democracy, and it be further
that copies of this resolution be transmitted to the President of the United States, the Governor of Michigan, the Speaker and Minority Leader of the United States House of Representatives, the Majority and Minority Leaders of the United States Senate, and members of the Michigan Congressional Delegation.
So now you've heard it, our complete resolution condemning political violence, because there's no place in the state of Michigan and in this country where it's acceptable. We stand here united in the Michigan House of Representatives Democratic Caucus against political violence, and we will not stop fighting for peace here in Michigan.